Trigonometry. Good morning. Welcome to TMMS Productions. Today, we are going to solve the questions based on standard angles. In this topic, standard angles, we have different variety of questions. The first one will be like evaluate without using the trigonometric tables. Now the trigonometric tables means the printed logbook which will have the trigo tables. That's the one we cannot use. But we can use the value of the standard angles which we've learnt in the earlier video. So now let us look at our first question. The first question, sine square 30 degrees plus cos square 30 degrees minus tan square 45 degrees. Now in order to evaluate, you must know the values by heart. Now remember, if we have the 5 fingers, this will be 0, this will be 30. And so, if I want sine 30 degrees, I'll look on my left. This is 30, this is 1 finger, root of it will be 1. Then 1 upon 2 becomes half. So sine 30 is half. And cos 30 will be here. I'll look at the 3 fingers here on the right hand side. And so it will be root 3 by 2. So let us see if we can write these values. Sine is half, so it becomes half square, plus cos of 30 is root 3 upon 2, so we'll write the square of this. Then we come to tan. Now for tan, it will be the tan for this, the sine here is 1 upon root 2, cos is 1 upon root 2, 1 upon root 2 upon 1 upon root 2, so tan becomes minus 1. And now let us look at the values that we have. Half square becomes 1/4 plus square root of 3 becomes 3 upon square of 2 becomes 4 minus 1. Now these values actually you should keep one side for you to easily access them so that you will not make a mistake. Let us continue with this. 1/4 plus 3/4. That gives us 1. 1 minus 1 gives us 0. And that is our answer 1. Question 2. So we have sine square 90 degrees minus 4 cos square 60 degrees plus 5 sine square 45 degrees. Now in order to know all these values, I have written this in pencil and you need to know these values by heart once you have got used to the basic concept. Like sine 0 will be 0, sine 30 is half, sine 45 degrees is 1 upon root 2, sine 60 degrees is root 3 upon 2 and sine 90 is 1. So if you keep this in mind like that, so we can just substitute the values. Sine square 90, sine 90 is 1. So we have 1 square minus 4 multiplied by cos 60 is half. So it becomes half square plus 5 and sine square 45 is 1 upon root 2. So 1 upon root 2 whole square. That gives us 1 minus 4 multiplied by 1 upon 4 plus 5 multiplied by 1 upon 2. That gives us 1 minus here will be 1 plus here it will be 5 upon 2. This one and this one gets cancelled and we will have 5 upon 2 which is nothing but 2.5. Or you can even write 2.5 and that is our answer 2. This was the first type of question. Now we come to the second type of question, which is simply prove that, and you will be given left hand side and you will be given right hand side. So when we have a question like this, we will start with left hand side. We'll simply write LHS and we will copy this. Sine square 30 degrees minus cos square 60 degrees. Now sine, keep your other hand ready and you can say sine square, look at the fingers or look at the table. Both you should have easily accessible. And sine 30 is half, so we will write it as half square minus cos 30. How much is cos 30? Cos 30 is again going to be half. So we write half square. That will give us 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 4, which is equal to 0. And this is what we will call as statement 1. Now we will bring RHS and we will write it as given in the question, like so. And now we divide it with 2 tan 45 degrees. Now all we have to do is substitute. Do we remember the values? 1 minus tan 45 is 1, so 1 square upon 2 into tan 45 is 1. That gives us 1 minus 1 upon 2. What does our numerator say? 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 upon 2, and that will give us 0. And we call that as statement 2. And then we will say from statement 1 and 2, LHS equal to RHS, hence proved. So we see how to present our work nicely and neatly and legibly. Now the second question, which is of the same category, that is prove that this under root 1 minus sine 30 upon 1 minus sine 30 degrees is equal to tan of 30 degrees. Here again we will take the same way, LHS equal to, and under root we will write 1 minus sine 30 is half upon 1 plus sine 30 is again half. That is equal to under root, we will have 1 minus half is half, and 1 plus half is, if you take LCM, LCM will be 2, and we'll have 2 plus 1, that is 3, and so that will give us under root 1 upon 2 divided by 3 upon 2, which means multiply by the reciprocal, and that will give us under root 1 upon 3, which is equal to 1 upon root 3. And that is our statement 1. Now, just to save on the space, I shall write here RHS equal to tan 30 degrees, and tan 30 degrees is 1 upon root 3. That becomes our statement 2. And then we will say from statement 1 and 2, LHS equal to RHS, hence proved. Now we come to the third type of question, which could be like for solve for A, and A is an angle, and many a time they'll give you 0 less than or equal to A and less than or equal to 90. So this means that A is an acute angle. So if we have to find the value of A, what we need is to keep A on the left hand side and transfer one by one these quantities to the other side. So what we will do, cot 2A will be equal to root 3 goes that side. Isn't root 3 multiplying here? So on the other side it will divide. Therefore we'll have cot 2A is going to be equal to 1 upon root 3. Now remember, cot is 1 upon tan. So we can, if we do not know how to write this as cot of the angle, so we can write this as 1 upon tan 2A, and that will be equal to 1 upon root 3. And that will give us tan 2A equal to root 3. Therefore, tan 2A is equal to tan of 60 degrees. And therefore, we will have 2A equal to 60 degrees. Since tans of two angles are equal, then the angles also are equal. So A will be equal to 60 degrees upon 2, which is 30 degrees. Now, the other way why I have left over here this gap is because I wanted to write over here this as cot. Now, can you see cot 2a is 1 upon root 3? So, I have to see cot of which angle will be 1 upon root 3. The other way you can think about it is that if 1 upon a tan a is root 3, then tan a becomes root 3. That is this thinking. And the other one is that if cot is 1 upon tan, then root 3 is the tan of 60 degrees. 1 upon root 3 becomes the cot of 2a. So this becomes 1 upon root 3 becomes cot of 60 degrees. And then you can directly write this side. We can say or cot 2a equal to cot 60 degrees. This also is acceptable. Therefore, 2a is equal to 60 degrees and therefore a is equal to 60 degrees upon 2 and therefore a is equal to 30 degrees. So you saw two ways of proceeding for the answer. Either proceed this way, or if you are getting confused about the reciprocal ratios, then convert cot into tan. Cot is 1 upon tan, so cot 2a becomes 1 upon tan 2a. Keep this as it is and then equate it. 1 upon tan 2a is 1 upon root 3. That means tan of 2a is equal to root 3. So tan 2a is equal to root 3. Root 3 is tan of 60 degrees. So 2a is equal to 60 degrees and eventually we'll get the same answer as this. The second question of the same type could be given like this. Now here you will see there are two brackets which are multiplied and the product is equal to 0. What does this mean? Either this bracket is 0 or this bracket is 0. That is using zero product rule. So we will write it as therefore sine 4a minus 1 equal to 0 or 2 cos 2a minus 1 equal to 0. Now all you have to do is solve these. So sine 4a is equal to 1 because this minus 1 comes the other side and it becomes plus, or here 2 cos 2a is equal to 1. Are we getting it? Okay. Now if I have sine of 4a, that means sine of some angle is equal to 1. So 1 is equal to sine of 90 degrees, correct? Therefore, I'll have 4a equal to 90 degrees, correct? Therefore, a will be equal to, tell me, how much is a? Can you see a is 22.5 degrees? Now, here we will continue on the right hand side. Here we need now cos 2a we have to concentrate on. So this 2 we do not want. Take it that side. So cos 2a equal to half. Therefore, now cos 2a is equal to cos of some angle. Now cos of which angle is half? That's right, cos of 60 degrees. Therefore, now cos of an angle is equal to cos of another angle. That means the two angles must be equal. So it is 2a equal to 60 degrees and therefore a equal to 60 degrees upon 2 and therefore a equal to 30 degrees. And so we will say therefore a is equal to 22.5 degrees or 30 degrees, and that is our answer. Now we are coming to the fourth type of question, which is based on standard angles. That is where you will be given two angles if A is 60 degrees and B is 30 degrees. So the values of A and B are given. And they say prove that this is equal to this. So cos A plus B becomes your LHS and cos A into cos B minus sin A into sin B becomes the RHS. So here again we will do exactly the same thing. We will start with LHS and we will say cos A plus B will be equal to cos of A is 60 degrees. All we do is substitute. What is B? 30 degrees. And so we will have cos of, inside the bracket we have 90 degrees. Now cos of 90 degrees is 0. So that becomes our statement 1. Now let us look at our RHS. Our RHS is cos A into cos B minus sin A into sin B. So that gives us cos 60 degrees and B is 30 degrees. So we'll write cos of 30 degrees minus sin of A. How much is A? 60 degrees. Into sin of B. How much is it? B is 30 degrees. So that gives us cos of 60 degrees is half multiplied by cos of 30 degrees is root 3 upon 2 minus sin 60 is root 3 upon 2 into sin 30 is half, and so that gives us root 3 upon 1 into root 3 is root 3 and denominator 2 into 2 is 4 minus here root 3 into 1 is root 3 and denominator 2 into 2 is 4. And so you'll have root 3 upon 4 minus root 3 upon 4 means 0. So that will give us our statement 2, and then we'll say from statement 1 and 2 LHS equal to RHS, hence proved. Hope you enjoyed this video and learnt the basics. Thank you for watching.